Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. The main subject of today's video is 5-cylinder engines and the cars equipped with that masterpiece of a sound that you can buy for under $2,000. So buckle up and enjoy the sound symphony of 5 cylinders. So the very first car on our list is Fiat Stilo. What? Yeah, I know. Sounds weird, right? But yes, there was a 5-cylinder engine in Fiat Stilo. It was 2.4, 20 valve, which produces 170 horsepower, and the car was produced from 2001 until 2007. Let's switch to the positives. So basically, yeah, the first positive you already heard that, it's the engine. It sounds great, it's reliable, it's quite powerful, and it can take a lot of beating. So that's a very big positive of that car. The other positive is the rust protection of the car, which is quite good. So if the car wasn't crashed quite badly, it should handle the rust pretty well and it shouldn't look like a piece of a cheese. So what are the negatives of this car? So first one is like minor. Those are small problems with the suspension, like anti-roll bar links or small repairs that you have to carry, but still it's an old car, so it has the right to have some problems in that region. And the second problem is electrical issues with all of those sensors, cables, connectors and all of that stuff, which is annoying. Okay, and the third disadvantage of this car, for me personally, is that it's quite heavy. So even though it has a glorious engine with beautiful sound and quite a lot of power, it's still not that quick. You can feel the weight and it's definitely a disadvantage in case of that car, but still a great car. So the second car on our list of 5-cylinder masterpiece is an Alfa Romeo 159.
Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Yeah, it's an Alfa Romeo, so something has to be not right. But when it comes to the engine, it's actually great. So again, in here we have a 2.4 engine, but here it's a diesel. It's 20 valve and it produces from 200 until 210 horsepower, which is quite good. So the car was built from 2006 until 2011. And for me, it's a glorious and gorgeous car. Yeah, I love Alphas, so... Okay, so when it comes to the positives of Alfa Romeo 156, definitely the first and the biggest one, no disputes here, it's the looks. Car is just perfect, looks very nice, and I don't think there are many people who can say, oh, it's ugly. Okay, the second positive of this car is that it's very comfortable, so it's perfect for long drives, cruises, all of that stuff. The third positive is the sound, and when you do some mods on the exhaust, it's just perfect. And the fourth benefit of this car is actually the suspension. It's quite good, it handles the corners very well, so you can have quite a lot of fun when you are driving. So now let's go with the negatives. It's an Alfa Romeo, so it definitely has a lot of problems. So the first one is actually the rust. So the factory rust protection isn't very that good, so you can have problems with that, and if you would like to buy this car, definitely check that out. Number two is, if it happens, the problem with handbrake lines and cables. So when they work, they are perfect, but when you have to change them, it's fucking horrendous, because you have to take apart the whole interior, which, let's say, obviously it's not the best. And the third negative of this car, again similarly as with Fiat Stilo, is the weight. Again, the car is very heavy, so even though it has 200 horsepower, a lighter car with 130, 140 horsepower accelerates very similarly to it, but still you don't have that sound. So the third car on our list is something that the VAG owners and lovers will be happy about, because it's Seat Toledo second generation. It was produced with 5-cylinder engine, but here it's a little bit a doozy story, because it's a 2.3 VR5 engine. So it's neither classic inline 5-cylinder nor V-type engine.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, so let me just explain. So this is the picture of an inline 5-cylinder. This is a picture of how the V engine with 5 cylinders would look like. And here below you have the actual picture of a VR5 engine that we are talking about. So this engine comes directly from VR6 engine. So the guys at VW, they were just lazy, so they just cut off one cylinder. I said, well done! Okay, so coming back to the engine. So it's a 2.3 petrol engine that produces from 150 until 170 horsepower. And the car on its own was built from 2000 until 2004. So the positives of Fiat Toledo numbered 5. So the engine definitely, again, here it's very reliable. It sounds great. It pulls really nice. It can take a lot of beating. Just remember to change oil and that's it. The second positive of the car is actually the suspension. It handles even the bad roads quite well, so you can simply drive for a long time without worrying about replacing all of that stuff, like I do in my 156, right?
You have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
So now the negatives of this car. So Toledo has some problems, and this is like a recognizable problem around all of the owners of that car, with water flowing inside of the car through the seals of the rear door. So basically, if you buy this car, just check it out. The second problem is the electrical issues, like with central locking and all of that stuff. And maybe it's connected with the water getting inside. I don't know. Maybe water and electrical things are not the. This is not the best connection, let's say.
You don't find that suspicious?
Okay, now let's go with car number 4 on our list, and here we are talking about the brick. Yeah, so maybe some of you already know what we are talking about. We are talking about Volvo V70. So here we have quite a big choice of 5-cylinder engines, because we can have a petrol 5-cylinder or a diesel 5-cylinder, and they are from like 2.0 until 2.5, 2.4. We are talking about two models of Volvo V70. First one that was produced from 1996 until 2000, and the newer one which was produced from 2000 until 2007. Okay, so what are the positives of that big brick, apart that it's huge? The first one definitely is the engine. Strong, reliable, sounds great. And definitely if you do some exhaust mods, you can surprise anyone, because the car doesn't look like it should sound like that. The second positive of this car is that it comes from Sweden. And they have a fucking terrible winter out there, so they know that they have to protect cars very well, so the rust protection is invincible, unless the car was crushed. The first negative of this car is actually many different electrical problems, and there's many of them, like AC problems with cruise control, with heated seats, with heated mirrors. The second negative is the suspension. Because the car is like a fucking brick, so you are moving around in a house, so it causes the suspension to fall apart, especially on not really good roads. And the third negative of this car is that, again, it's a big brick without a handbrake. And the last car on our list, car number 5, it's again something that the VAG lovers will be happy about. It's an Audi 100 C3 and C4, and the engines that we are talking about here are 5-cylinder petrol engines from 1.9 until 2.3. Audi 100 C4 was built from 1982 until 1991, and Audi 100 C4 was produced from 1990 until 1994. The positives of this car, so but definitely, again, engine sounds great, reliable. Basically you cannot kill that shit. This is, yeah, invincible, just as the rust protection on the Volvo. You cannot go wrong with it. The second one is exactly the rust protection. It's very good, and if the car wasn't damaged, it can survive ages. When it comes to the negatives, we have some electrical issues, but most of it comes from the age of the car. Let's face it, this is the car that almost has like 30 years old, some of them even more. So yeah, it can have some issues with electrics.
Still, Could be worse.
Second negative of this car, the brakes are not really good and they are not performing very well, so you have to watch out for that. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on 5-cylinder engines and the cars that are equipped with it. Let me know down in the comments if you have any other ideas, or maybe I missed something about any of those cars, or maybe I said something wrong. Just let me know. I'm here to learn, so that's good. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of those videos, and see you on the next one.